Hi, it's Ryan from Monster Logo Studios. I mentioned last week I was going to take the M8 out on the road, spend a little time getting to know it. Thought I'd share with you some of the things I've learned, a few tips and tricks, and maybe a little bit of this song I've been working on. First thing, navigation was way easier than I expected. The learning curve is not as steep as it might look. The M8 came with this fantastic shortcut of key commands, but it was intimidating as hell to look at. I picked it up in no time. I had to make a few references back to the full PDF manual. Quick shout out to Jeremy at Red Means Recording. I watched his tips and tricks video a couple of times and learned a few things from him. Specifically, the next thing I'm going to talk about, which was the implementation of these empty blocks and the kill command blocks. So I set up an FE that's a 4-phrase chain. Each phrase is an empty collection of notes. I'll talk a little bit more about that hop command that I threw in there. But using this as a spacer, one of the things that I thought I might have understood, but learned I didn't so much when I first started building this initial song, was that things play linearly top to bottom regardless of the row that they're on. And so if you have an empty first row on track 2, it's going to start playing wherever the first phrase is located, or the first chain is located, rather. And so you could have a scenario where track 1 is playing from a chain starting on row 00, and track 2 is playing a chain on row 01 simultaneously. And so hence the utilization of these empty blocks for me, FE. The next thing that I stole from that video was the utilization of these kill blocks, FD. So again, it's a chain of 4 phrases. 3 of them are the same FE empty phrases that I'd utilized previously. Excuse me. And FD is a kill chain. So it's a null note, but with the kill command put on all 3 of the effects chains. And this is great. You'll hear in this track, I've got a lot of heavy delay and reverb sends. This kills any spillover. Next, we'll talk a little bit about that hop command. So the first idea I had, because I thought I would make it just as complicated as it could possibly be while trying to learn the device, was this little bit in 5/8, utilizing I think it's the string macro synth. Plucked, I guess, is the name of the shape. And so what I needed was an ability to tell the M8 to skip to the next phrase at the completion of 10/16 notes, as opposed to playing out the full 16. And hence the hop command. So what hop will do is tell the phrase to jump to a pointer based on the value that you give the hop command. 00 tells it to move to the start of the next phrase. And so throughout this song, every single phrase has a hop command on row A. So that's the hop command. I look forward to using that. I've got another one in 7 that I've been working on, as well as some more standard stuff, but my mind tends to think in odd meter. Next, the sound quality here is awesome. I'd heard it stated several times in many of the other videos that I was watching in anticipation of this showing up. The reverbs and the reverb and delays sound amazing. I'm getting a lot more mileage out of the chorus effect than I thought. It seemed like an odd inclusion for the third global effect, but for widening a bass, which is how I'm using it actually on this one, it's tremendous and actually has been very valuable. So great sound quality, 32-bit. It sounds every bit as good as you've heard in the demonstrations you've watched on other channels. And what you hear is what you get. I'm not applying any additional EQ or dynamic control on the output. This is the device raw, so kudos. Sounds tremendous. Next, the sampling. For this track, I wanted to see if I could sample the entirety of the PO12 Teenage Engineering Pocket Operator on the device. And I did just that. So I set up 2 chains on the PO12 with 1 note, basically series of eighth notes. So each chain had 8 eighth notes. And that's how I was able to get the 16 notes recorded here. And so initially recorded them in as a single stereo wave file. And then I used the slice markers to implement 16 slices. You've got very granular control. I think option, let's try edit. Yes, edit gives you more granular control. So what is effectively a zoomed in wave file, so you can very precisely set where those slices should be. I'm going to exit this and not save, and then go back in. So I was able to get 16 very clean slices, and you can sample each one independently to make sure there's no bleed. And so this particular track, I'm using not only my own PO12 sample, but also one of the native kit files that comes along with it, a collection of more acoustic sounding drum samples. So the last thing I want to talk about are the chords. I mentioned earlier that was probably my biggest concern coming in. I've got a background in stringed instrumentation. I've been a guitar player for 25 years. When I compose, when I hear music in my head, it's chordal, not less often is it melodic driven. Approaching the M8, I thought I was going to have to either start utilizing multiple tracks to produce kind of the dyads or triads or expanded chord structures as I was writing, and realized quickly that that was not the case. So there are some multi-synth types that allow you to use preset dyad and triad chord structures. For me, at least at this point in my journey with this device, I've realized that using the FM synth engine with the A plus B plus C plus D algorithm gives me everything I need. I can do 4 voice chords by modulating the pitch on each of the 4 oscillators. And so you can see I've got, in this case, I'm treating the entered note in the note column as my root, and then using the FM2, FM3, and FM4 effects, I can change the pitch of each one of those oscillators by the value here in half steps. And so with that, I can create things like this little chord phrase. Here's another one. I think that's it for now. Those are kind of the exciting things. That's where I'm at to date. I'll let you hear a little bit of this song. Thanks for listening. Again, I'm Ryan from Monster Logo Studios. Look forward to having another update for you soon. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you soon.